Hello, happy Tuesday. If this is the first time you are ever joining me, it is an absolute pleasure to have you. I am Bethany Johnson, and I do these every other week calming Zooms, specifically recorded for Woodburn School District. These are breathing exercises or guided meditation or calming practices and encouragement. So I do these every other week and so I have only 4 left actually as we close in on the end of the school year. Um, if you are just finding this one video, there is an entire channel on YouTube of the rest of these Zoom recordings of practices. Perhaps you need them in part or in whole, but they are absolutely available to you, accessible to you. And I hope that you find something that really meets your need in terms of a moment of calm, an opportunity to settle, an opportunity to respond to stress or frustration, whatever it is that you need in this moment. I hope that you find it here today. So, like I said, my name is Bethany Johnson. Let me tell you a little bit about myself or kind of what you can expect. For this class, it's going to be a little bit less than 60 minutes, but it's really I'm going to introduce myself, kind of set up some expectations, share some of my heart around what you can find and why I care about it. We're going to take some time to do focus today. I have a guided meditation, which is really just me inviting you in to an opportunity to settle, reflect, give your body, your mind the gift of certainly gratitude, but also just noticing. And I hope that that's what you're looking for and find helpful. And then we're just gonna do a self-check after, notice how this might be helpful to you more times than today. So I am Bethany Johnson. I am a certified health coach, which simply means I'm very passionate about physical health, emotional health, relational health. We're going to talk quite a bit about that today. And I am in no means a professional. I came to this opportunity because I really care about others getting healthy. It's a journey that I myself have been on. For me, that journey included a physical health journey of losing 70 pounds, and that also really meant finding my healthiest self. And for that, that included giving myself some gifts of emotional regulation, physical calm. For me, yoga is a part of that practice for me, but I have just noticed and we're going to talk quite a bit about this, the connections that have occurred as I've been learning, and I got excited to be able to share that with some of you. I come from a background of teaching. I taught elementary school for 10 or 12 years in the Salem area. Really, really loved that and have a deep rich respect for the intensity that can come, the stress, the overwhelm that so often can come with working in a school setting. So I'm especially passionate about individuals that are doing that work. I currently hold a position as a high school PE teacher in an online format. And so that's kind of how I use my time and how it is that I apply these practices, calming breathing practices. Um, So let's talk a little bit. Actually, before I jump into this slideshow, talking about meditation, I want to just address um, maybe some assumptions that you might have around meditation. Um, and or if you hear calming or breath work or meditation, that might have, sorry, I just noticed that my name is me and my husband's name. I'm not sure how to change it. Sorry. Um, I know for so many people, things like yoga or meditation or guided meditation or transcendental meditation might have some connotations for you, perhaps positive ones or negative ones, which is completely fair. Um, for my purposes in this context, um, my intent and my heart is really to bring the physical benefits of calming breath, mindfulness, those aspects of meditation, um, from strictly a physical standpoint. Now, for some of you, you might bring an aspect of spirituality or religion or relationship with God into that, and that's okay. Um, how you invite that in a way that matches your worldview is entirely up to you. I will certainly speak about breath and body and emotions, but from me, I won't be adding much in terms of a spirituality or a religious aspect to that. Again, I know this is access to YouTube and public, and I know Woodburn School District is a secular school district. So that is not something that's not a part of what I'm bringing into this process. And so if all you need to focus or all you're trying to get out of this is the physical benefits of calming breathing, focused, settling of your physiological response to stress or anything like that, that's okay. If you want to add your own aspect of prayer or connection to your spiritual framework, that's okay too. I would invite you to add that, to include that. But I just wanted to address that because I know for some people, there's some assumptions or some confusion around that. So wanted to address that. Okay, so a couple of things to expect during meditation is really some tips for what we can do. I know that this is a recording, none of you were on here live with me, so I have no idea where physically you are. Ideally, perhaps you're in a quiet, comfortable space, sitting or lying down comfortably. That might not be the case for all of you, and that's okay. Doing whatever you can to kind of set up your body in a space of inviting in some calming. So whether that's you're listening to this recording while you're on a walk at your lunch break or on your drive home or in the morning before students or staff arrive, I'm not sure where this recording is meeting you, and that's okay. My encouragement is to do everything that you can to make sure your body is certainly safe and comfortable. That kind of bleeds into that second piece of setting up your space. So finding ways to decontaminate, whether that's in your home or in your car or in your classroom or in your office. There's lots of ways where our surroundings can either enhance our body and our brain's ability to calm down or distract. And so see what you can do within your framework of control to create a space that is conducive of inviting calm and rest and de-stressing to your space. So whether that's taking off your smartwatch if you have it, or putting your phone on do not disturb if you're not watching it on there, or putting a little note, please don't bother me, 30 minutes. Again, whatever that means for you and what you need, I would invite you to do that, because it's a really incredible gift to yourself to do that. And then my only other tip is that keeping a notebook or post-its nearby, just to be able to jot down the things that will certainly pop up into our mind. Particularly today, when I will be really walking us through some thoughtful and mindful meditation, your mind is going to wander. That's part of the circumstance for all of us. And giving yourself some kindness and compassion as that happens, but being able to capture some of those thoughts. You do really important things with your time and with your life, and I know there's a lot to keep track of. And so if you are able to just grab a pen and write on the top of your post-it for later, okay? And what this does is it gives your brain a safe, oh, you can't see that at all, a safe spot for you to keep those ideas, the things you're going to forget, the things you need to do, just off to the side, so that you can not forget it, but it will also not interrupt or invade the space that you have set up for yourself to give yourself as a gift, in terms of this focus and time of breathing and calm. So that's just something I would encourage you to do for setting up your space. We talked a little bit about this meditation and calming. Really, again, our focus is on the physiological and the emotional impact. We see that as we practice meditation or focused time and breathing, there's some self-compassion that's given, to allow attention and respect to yourself and your emotions, which for many of us is really hard as a learning process. I know for me, that's a big part of what this journey has been like for me. We know that meditation has a really positive impact on your mood. Those key components, happiness, irritability, patience, compassion, those are enhanced when we make space and time for focused thinking, for mindfulness, for breathing exercises. And then we know that meditation can really help relax your body and reduce stress to help you improve that sleep quality. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we know there's lots of different types of meditation. Here are 4 key characteristics: having an open attitude, some sort of a quiet location, comfortable body, and being able to focus your attention. Again, I know some of this is a bit redundant, but it is worth saying. And again, this is a gift to yourself. And so inviting and having compassion for yourself to be able to grant that gift is a really loving thing to do. So I definitely encourage you to do that and make space for that. Okay. Here we go. So before I dive into our calming guided meditation time today, I want you to just notice, how are you feeling in this moment? If you're someone who watches these videos, you know that this is a familiar refrain, that we just take a time to notice, pay attention to what are you currently experiencing? What are you bringing into this space and time? Perhaps you're feeling stressed or sad. Maybe you don't actually know how you feel. Paying attention to where it's happening in your body. Oh, am I feeling tight in my shoulders? Am I feeling icky in my tummy? Am I feeling tightness in my throat? Tingly, maybe tension at the back of your neck. where are you? Just pay attention, just notice what's happening in your body. Can really be a great starting point for noticing what you might be feeling and experiencing. The deep, deep, important invitation that I have for you around this is not judging your current state or your emotions. There is no such thing as bad emotions. There are certainly uncomfortable emotions, things that we do not welcome. But all of our emotions have something really important to teach us when we can make space for them. So, my encouragement to you is just noticing, huh, I'm actually feeling really sad. Wonder what that's about. There's something wrong with it. If you're feeling emotional, you're feeling like crying. Sometimes when we give our mind and our body space to settle, some things kind of flood into that space that can be scary. Remember, this is a safe place. You're able to express it, but we can notice. You notice that, and not a why and how am I going to fix it, but I'm noticing I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling stressed, or I'm feeling worried, or upset, or excited. All of those are things worth noticing. I would invite you to do that. On that same post-it or another post-it or a notebook, think about how you can describe your mood. My current mood is irritable, or my current mood is overwhelmed or frustrated or stressed out. That is definitely something that is worth jotting down. So I would invite you to do that. Okay. That was my intro, pretty long intro, but again, those are my invitations to you about making this space and this time some of your very, very best. Here's what you can expect with our time. We're gonna start with just some easy noticing our breath, and then I'm gonna just talk through, I'm gonna share a poem, I'm gonna just do some exploration around some meditation about what you notice, and with a focus. So if you're somewhere safe where you can close your eyes, or if you'd like to write or journal through these prompts or these questions, really thinking about what this gift can be. And again, our minds wander. That's an important and normal part of the process. But really giving ourselves opportunity, a opportunity to notice and to do some thoughtful reflection can really have a positive impact on us, and I'm excited to talk you through it. Okay, so here we go. Before I read through this poem, I want to invite you again. Hopefully, you're sitting somewhere comfortable, safe. I want to invite you to just spend a few moments either closing your eyes, lowering or softening your gaze, focusing on something that gives you love or calm, whether that's a picture of the ocean or plants, or some calm, serene environment to look out on. I would invite you to do that. And we're just going to pay attention to our breathing, noticing we breathe all day, every day, but it so often goes unnoticed. We are unaware of it. And so just pay attention to your breathing in, breathing out. Do you tend to breathe in or out through your mouth or your nostrils? Just notice to start with. Where can you feel your breath coming into your body? Where do you notice movement in response to your breath? Now I would invite you to add some intentionality to your breathing. We're going to breathe in through our nose, hold, and then breathe out through your nose. If possible, unless you're dealing with allergies. Breathe in and breathe out. If it feels better or is more possible for you to breathe out gently through your mouth, that's okay too. Whatever feels the safest, we're just adding some intentionality. It does not take very long for our breathing to affect our body. Our shoulders tend to soften, our jaw loosens, our heart rate starts to go down. This alone is one of the very biggest and most important gifts we can give to ourselves, and can really have a positive impact on our mood. I would invite you to continue taking breaths in and out. I'd like to share a poem with you that kind of speaks to where we're gonna go with our guided meditation. Again, you're welcome to have your eyes open or blink them closed or focus your sight somewhere else. Here is the poem and where we're going with our meditation today. Connection. The connection begins with words as prayers, praise, poems. Words connect the feelings. Feelings connect the emotions. Emotions connect the heart. Heart connects the heart. By waves and energy, by love and frequency, then we fly higher, or we drown deeper. We see the soul full of joy, truth, and love all together. We move towards eternal. We move towards divine. We move towards bliss, and we meet God. Then we see God in every heart. Then we see love in every heart. We connect with all universe. By Ramesh Kavdia. Okay, so for our guided meditation today, I am going to invite you to do some reflective and internal thinking. I'm just going to guide you to notice and think about connections and where that occurs in your life. We're going to talk about connections in some very specific ways. And again, if it helps you to jot or journal or just think, giving yourself permission for your mind to wander, that's absolutely okay. Okay. So as you think and let your mind wander on connections, what are the first things that spring to mind? What things do you feel connected to? In what ways have connections impacted your lives? We'll start first with our connections with others. Sometimes our connections have developed beauty in our life. Sometimes our connections have brought pain or trauma or heartache. I invite you to make space for those. Spend some time thinking about different ways that your connections with others have impacted you. Just notice. I notice that there have been connections that have brought peace and growth and joy into my life. I invite you to think about connections you have with family, whether that's your family of origin, the home and the group in which you grew up in. In what ways have those connections impacted your life? I invite you into a space of gratitude, even if there's spaces of pain or hurt or sadness connected to some of those family connections. Just notice. I want to gently invite you into a space of gratitude. What is one or two connections to your family that have given you a gift? Is it resilience? Is it support? Perhaps your family connection has given you clarity about your own strengths or weaknesses. Maybe your family connections have brought companionship or loneliness. Maybe your family connections have brought healing or challenges. Sometimes those family connections bring all of those. I invite you to offer a grateful heart to one or more of the gifts that your family has brought you. I'd like you to invite you to think of connections with others of perhaps your chosen family or your friends that you have had the opportunity to come across in your current season of life or maybe a past season. What connections have you felt with others who are friends? What gifts have those connections taught you? What have you learned from those whom you love around you? Have you learned of your own strength? Have you learned of what it looks like to have someone support you? Have you learned what it means to play or rest? I invite you to offer up gratitude for a connection and a friendship with others. I am grateful for what my relationship with others has taught me. I invite you to now notice connections with others who are not in those first two categories. Not family, not friends. Perhaps they're strangers, people who have written books that you have read, people in history that you have learned about and been inspired by, people who you have seen and admired from afar, perhaps people who have been coworkers or bosses or acquaintances. Think about those connections. What can you notice? What have you learned or gained from connections to near strangers? Perhaps people who you don't spend time with beyond what is a part of your routine, or people who don't know your name because they are in history or fictional, even. What connections have you experienced from those others? Can you offer gratitude for them? Can you sit and notice? What have you received? What have you connected to with others? I am grateful for the gifts that people I have never met have given me. My great great grandfather and his influence, the women in history I have read about, the authors who share their wisdom with me, the podcaster that delights me every week, my favorite actor or actress in the way they bring their talent to entertain and delight me. I sit in connection and gratitude for those connections that have been a gift. Receive that gratitude. Notice those connections. I want to now invite you to notice connections that you have with the world around you, the natural world, nature, and the place where you live, whether that's your backyard or the park you drive past, or a favorite hiking spot, or a vacation location. What connection do you have with the natural world around you? Breathe it in. Maybe you've noticed tulips blooming on your walk. Maybe there's a tree that catches your eye on your way to the grocery store. What connections can you notice and offer gratitude for that occur in the natural world around you? Just notice that and offer gratitude. Perhaps you have a plant that you've been growing and you feel proud that you haven't killed it. Maybe there's a little spot of sunshine in your backyard or in your classroom or office that you can sit at in a particular time of day. Notice that connection. Offer gratitude for that connection. We can also offer gratitude for the things in our world that are perhaps man-made. Maybe it's a favorite coffee cup, or a blanket that reminds you of your childhood, or a painting or a project that you've worked on? What is a thing, a material, man made thing that you feel connected to? Maybe it represents a memory or a time in your life when you were happy, or you just like the way it looks, or smells, or feels, or tastes. Notice that connection that you have to that part of the world around you. Offer gratitude to the gifts that that gives you. A few moments of delight in the morning or at night, your favorite pillow, some cozy socks. Notice that connection. Extend gratitude for that thing, for the joy, or the peace, or the calm, or the reminder that it brings into your life. The last set of connections we're going to focus on with our time together is the connection to ourself. I invite you to look kindly upon yourself. We'll start with our body, our physical external body. We can often be pretty hard on our body, pretty unkind to it, particularly when it is not doing the thing we wish it would do. But today I invite you to notice the connection you have with your own body. Notice with gratitude the way that your lungs are continuing to fill up with air, the way that your five senses are offering you connections to the world around you. Perhaps all the ways that your body is still functioning and performing as it ought. Offer gratitude to your body. Offer kindness to your body. I invite you to take a few moments to think about the ways that your physical body has protected and guided you through your life. What things have your feet walked you towards or away from? What have your arms been able to embrace? What has your head nodded yes to? What has your ears allowed you to hear? In what ways has your immune system protected you, recovered from illness or injury? Even if you are currently experiencing illness or injury, can you still extend gratitude and kindness to your physical body? Especially if it is not the shape or the function that you wish it was. There is still space for both gratitude and hope for change. Thank you, body, for the connection that you have. Our last point of connection and noticing is noticing the connection we have to our internal self. Our thoughts, our emotions, our ideas, our hopes, our dreams, all that is perhaps described as soul for some. There's a deep connection between you and your internal self. We can be equally hard on our thoughts, our emotions, our ideas, our skills, as we are to our physical body. Take a moment today to notice and offer gratitude for your internal body. Your mind has allowed you to understand and process the words and the sights that your five senses are bringing to you. Your heart has given you wisdom. Sometimes it has perhaps been misguided, but it's also gotten some things right. Offer gratitude for your internal self, your thoughts, your emotions, your ideas, and your dreams. Can you extend gratitude to yourself, your internal self, your mind and its ideas and its creativity and its routines and its habits? There is a deep connection and awareness when we can offer gratitude for our awareness. It extends kindness to ourselves in a way that is healing and deeply impactful. I invite you to take that time. As we transition out of our time of meditation, I hope you walk away with a far deeper connection to others, to yourself, to the world around you. And you might notice the ways that you are connected externally and the ways that you are connected internally and the ways that you are more connected to the world around you. In our final few moments, my reminders are meditation is a skill that takes practice. Perhaps this was easy and doable for you in lots of really important ways, but no, it is a muscle that takes practice, and continuous practice will help you get more comfortable. And it is not about becoming better. It is really about training awareness and some perspective. You're not trying to turn off or deny your thoughts or feelings. You're just observing them without judgment. I would invite you to take some moments, if you have some, to describe your mood now, or what you noticed, or what you learned, or what surprised you about this experience. Thank you so much for your time. I am so grateful that you gave yourself the gift of this time together. Live is always an option. I'll be back on the 16th, as well as the 7th and the 28th. We will do more with breathing practices next time. And of course, you can always go to the playlist on YouTube to explore other opportunities for calming, meditation, breathing, relaxation. Thank you. I'm Bethany Johnson. Glad you were here.